I'd really love us to start, Tego, with the best use of time and money when it comes to renovations. It's really interesting because so I noticed a couple different Facebook posts or social media posts in the last week and a thread. And it was interesting because Jason Pike, who's with Waterstone Mortgage, one of the top lenders in the state, had posted a picture of a space where he needs his new range or stove range. And he said he ordered it on January 5th, I believe, of 2021, and he's still waiting for it. So when we're talking about renovations and what's the biggest bang for the buck, which we're going to talk about now, we have to take into consideration the supply chain issue that we're having right now.
And there are, if you guys, it's just about in every industry and everything where there's some sort of, supply need, some sort of material. There are supply challenges everywhere.
There are.
And it's definitely in the housing world. It's definitely in the remodeling world. You go to the home stores and they just don't have the same type of supplies that they used to. And so when you're thinking about, upgrading your home, doing some stuff, either just for yourself and you're going to plan on staying in the home, or if you're getting it ready to sell and you want to optimize your net proceeds from the sale, those things matter. Can you actually get what you need?
They matter. So what we are hoping is that before you rip out all of your flooring or your cabinets or your appliances or your window blinds,
garage door,
before you start ripping things out, make sure that what you need to replace or to remodel or to upgrade is available.
And the reason I say garage doors, I've heard stories about garage doors and the lead times on garage doors being very, very long. So
yeah, we know appliance lead times right now can be many months, and Jason Pike's, one story about that. So let's talk about what renovations are creating the biggest return towards 100% if you're going to consider doing some upgrades on your home.
So in the current market, everything pretty much is selling. Even a house that's in very poor condition is going to sell. Obviously, price always matters as well, right? But I always joke. I always say, well, the home price is somewhere between $1 and $10 million, right? So I mean, everything, what do they say? Every seat, anyway, it doesn't matter.
I can't help you. I don't know what they say.
I know, but you can't get inside my brain.
Yeah.
The idea is that when you're getting your home ready to sell, there are certain things that you can do, should do, to actually make it more desirable to buyers and net you more money from the sale. We did the show a couple weeks ago talking about staging and how, just because everything's selling in this market and it's a strong seller's market doesn't mean you should leave money on the table.
Right. And a lot of it doesn't cost a lot of money to do, right? From front yard maintenance, front entryway, door, the whole curb appeal of your home. Sometimes it's just getting out a nice blower and trimmer and power washer or whatever and cleaning things up, maybe refreshing if your door is a painted door, refreshing it if your trim needs work. Some of those things can be
curb appeal is still going to make a big difference, and clean, neat, tidy, no deferred maintenance, you're just going to get more money for the house.
So that was what I was going to say next. Neat and clean. So the rest on the inside of the house, if you can't do anything except clean, declutter, and just make it sparkle, it's going to make a huge difference for you on how buyers perceive your home, right?
So Tracy, I've got the cost versus value study that the who does this? Home Remodelers Association or something like that. Every year they do a study and they look at cost versus value for upgrades and updates to your home, and what are the things that give you the most bang for the buck. And they actually do have one. They have nationwide. They have mountain region, which we're in, and then they also do have Albuquerque specific, which I brought out. And,
right.
Some of the things we look at and go and kind of look at sideways and go, well, I guess so. Like, vinyl siding, in Albuquerque, right? That's not really a thing, right? I mean, there's some, but it's not much.
Right. Replacing vinyl siding. So
what are some of the big takeaways that you see on that list?
The chart tells you cost recoupment. And what's interesting is nothing is at least 100%. So even if you spend $100 to do something, nothing you do is going to get you 100.
And we're talking about remodels. We're not talking about what we were just talking about, which is cleaning, painting,
right?
Just deferred maintenance.
This is remodels.
Yeah.
So let's talk about kitchens, right? Kitchen remodel.
Yep.
You can have a couple $1,000 kitchen remodel to a $60,000 kitchen remodel, right? From replacing all your cabinets, reorganizing the order of your kitchen, getting new appliances.
Yep.
But, sometimes it's just painting cabinets or cleaning and changing something that's not very costly. But they're saying that kitchen remodel, just a mid-range kitchen remodel, you're going to get 51% back from that remodel. An upscale remodel, which we know is, somebody putting in commercial grade stainless appliances and maybe new cabinets that have soft close and dovetail corners and, all of that. It's only 43% recoup on sale. So it's not something you would want to do for sale. It's something you're going to want to do to live in the home, right? And enjoy. Right. Really bothers me when I see people do a major remodel right before they sell and do all of the things they wanted to have in their house, but then they do it for the next buyer and they didn't have the chance to enjoy it themselves.
Yeah. Do it for yourself.
I feel so bad.
Well, and we know, Tracy, that remodeling is booming right now. I mean, remodeling has been booming since, the beginning of the pandemic. And it continues to boom.
And we did our own kitchen remodel during the pandemic.
We remodeled our office right here,
That's
too.
Right,
at the same
because
time.
It was closed and we could.
Yeah.
A master suite upgrade.
Yeah, and I think, I'm not sure what that was referring to, but I don't think that's a big one. I mean, the big ones that really jumped out to me, Tracy, was garage door replacement. Talk about garage doors. And one thing I think we need to add to this, it depends where you're starting, right? If you have a nice kitchen and you just don't like it or you want to do something, different than what it is, obviously spending the money to do it is not going to add value. If it's a trashed out kitchen with cabinet doors falling off and, scratched cabinets and old cabinets and all that.
Old
well,
counters.
Yeah, obviously, it just depends where you start. Same thing with the garage door. If the garage door is in fine condition, maybe it just needs some paint. But if it's dented up, not working right, then yeah, you're gonna recoup that. Garage door is a huge curb appeal thing.
So one of the other things on the list that jumps out at me is window replacement.
Mm-hmm.
And so we see that, there's a lot of older homes that still have single pane, very
Single
hard
pane,
to use
aluminum,
windows. You might get 40 to 50% back if you're selling the house and you've replaced the windows. It's interesting because when I show houses, typically those older houses, buyers aren't as in tune with what major upgrades have been done on a house, like windows.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some buyers are pretty attuned to it.
Yeah.
But a lot of times it's more about how does the house feel, smell, how clean is it, and they don't notice the difference between windows. So getting 40 to 50% back on recouping what your cost was, that's probably in range. It's interesting, though, I was at a house in Rio Rancho a couple of weeks ago. They were thinking of selling, and they had spent a lot of money on the big doors. So the whole back of the house had those disappearing
the
doors.
nano wall or whatever they call them. Yeah.
And they had spent a lot of money on that. And it really made that house pop and shine and beautiful. But I'm not sure. I think they spent about $40,000 on all the windows in the house.
Wow.
And those beautiful doors. But, that's a lot of money. Yeah, it's the wow factor. And yeah, when someone walks in that house, the first thing you saw past the fireplace was this beautiful view to the Sandias. They might be.
I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Probably going to get more than the 40% return on it. But still, that was a pretty major upgrade. So, So windows. Another thing is roofs, right?
Uh-huh.
It's another thing where I don't know buyers. A lot of our roofs, you can't even see what kind of condition they're in, right? You might be able to see cracking parapets, but it's saying reshingled and pro-panel metal roofs you'll get 40 to 50% back on that.
Well, in roof, the roof thing that's also a maintenance issue, right? People think, well, new roof adds value to the home. No, if the roof was in bad shape and you're just replacing it, doesn't really add value to the home, right? So again, it depends on where you're starting and where you're ending, for sure.
So one of the biggest cost recoupments on the list is stone veneer, manufactured stone veneer on your house.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, that's part of that curb appeal when you pull
Absolutely.
up. I noticed it the other day. I was in a neighborhood of all these stucco kind of 2-story houses.
Yep.
Drove towards a street, and the house towards like at the T, bad feng shui, but it was at the T right in front of me.
Yep.
And they had added stone veneer on it. And I looked at it and I went, wow, that house looks very upscale compared to all the rest that I just was in that neighborhood by. It looked gorgeous. I thought that really added value to that house. So here it is on paper saying 92% recoupment for that stone veneer.
Yeah, it does. That does add pop to a home for sure, as long as everything else is in order with the curb appeal.
Right. So
sure.
To wrap this up,
Yeah.
if you're thinking of remodeling, let's make sure that it's for you and that the cost makes sense and that the product's available.
Thinking of remodeling and you're intending on selling in a, relatively short period of time, we'd be happy to consult and talk about it and just make sure that you're getting your bang for your buck.
Yeah, we're here for you to say, do that, don't do this, and make sure that the supplies are available.
Yeah. Yeah.